Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle a really huge question in tech. In a world with countless apps and devices, how do we decide who and what gets a key to our digital kingdom? We're going to break it all down using Microsoft's solution, Entra.
I mean, really think about it. Every single day, countless apps, services, and devices all need to connect and get access to resources. So how do we possibly keep track of who, or maybe more importantly, what we should trust? That right there is the fundamental challenge of modern identity management. So what's the answer? Well, Microsoft Entra's approach is to expand the whole definition of an identity. It's not just for people anymore. Now we have specific identities for our software workloads, things like apps and services, and even for our physical devices like laptops and phones. Each one gets its own unique identity that we can manage and secure. Okay, so how does this all work in practice? We're going to break it down into 4 parts. We'll kick things off with identities for people, then we'll dive into the pretty fascinating world of identities for software and devices, and finally, we'll see how you can manage all of this without going crazy. So let's start with the one we're all most familiar with, user identities. This covers pretty much everyone who needs access, whether they're employees, external partners, or even the customers who use your services. To figure out what kind of user somebody is, you really just need to answer 2 simple questions. And the answers place every single person into a clear category, which gives them just the right level of access. So first up, where do they prove who they are? Is it with an account that's managed inside your own organization, or is it an external one, maybe from another company or even a social media account? And then question number 2, what's the relationship to you? Are they a full-fledged member of the team, or are they a guest with more limited, controlled access? And this is where it all clicks into place. Combining those 2 factors gives us 4 very distinct types of users. You've got your standard employee, that's an internal member, and you've got the common external guest, like a contractor. But check out the other 2, because this is cool. You can also have an external member, say someone from a partner company who needs deep access, and you can even have an internal guest, which is a special case. It's an account you control, but with limited guest-level permissions. All right, so that takes care of people. But what about all the software? Applications and services are constantly needing to access other things, like databases and APIs. They need their own key to the kingdom, too. And that is exactly where workload identities come in. They solve this huge, classic security problem. How do you let an application get into a database without hard-coding a password right into the source code, where, let's be honest, it could easily be stolen? The modern solution here is something called managed identities, and it is a total game changer for developers. They can build an app on an Azure resource, like a virtual machine, and let it access an other resource, like Azure Storage, without ever having to touch a password or credential. The platform just handles everything securely behind the scenes. And you get 2 flavors of this. A system-assigned identity is kind of like a key that's built right into the door. It's created when you create the resource, and it's deleted when you delete it. Simple, clean. A user-assigned identity, on the other hand, is more like a master key. It's a standalone identity that you can assign to lots of different resources, which makes it perfect for when you have a whole bunch of virtual machines that all need the same permissions. Now, let's talk about the actual hardware. In a modern zero-trust world, where we basically don't trust anything automatically, your phone, your laptop, even your servers, they also need their own identity to prove they're legit before they can connect to anything. First up, we've got registered devices. This is perfect for the whole bring your own device or BYOD model. Think about checking work email on your personal phone. By registering it, your company can allow secure access to its data while you still get to log into the phone itself with your personal account. Next are joined devices. This is your official company-issued laptop. It's joined directly to your organization's Microsoft Entra ID, and you log into the machine with your work credentials. This gives your IT department full management and control for maximum security. And finally, there are hybrid joined devices. These are really for organizations that are in transition. They still have a traditional on-premises Active Directory, but they're also using modern cloud services. So a hybrid device is joined to both, creating a bridge between the old world and the new. So why bother giving devices an identity? Well, the huge payoff is a seamless single sign-on or SSO experience. This means that once a user logs into their trusted device, they can access all their resources in the cloud or on premises
without constantly having to re-enter passwords. It's both secure and super convenient.
So we have identities for people, for software, and for devices. That is a lot to manage. So how do you handle permissions for hundreds, maybe thousands of these things without going crazy? Well, the answer is simple. You use groups. It really boils down to two main types. Think of security groups as the bouncers at the door. You put users, devices, and even software identities into a group, and then you just grant that entire group access to something important. On the other hand, Microsoft 365 groups are all about teamwork. They automatically set up a shared mailbox, a calendar, and a document library for a project team.
So let's just put it all together. Modern identity isn't a single concept. It's a layered approach. We define people by how they prove who they are and their relationship to us. We give software its own secure, managed identity. And we treat our devices like trusted partners, which is really the key to unlocking that seamless, secure access from anywhere.
And this leaves us with a final thought. As our world gets smarter and way more connected, the principles we've talked about today aren't just for our computers. They're going to apply to everything, from our cars to our appliances. So the next time your fridge automatically orders milk, you can ask yourself, was that a workload identity or was that a device identity? The future of identity really is everywhere.